Hi, I'm Sangeeta Pillai. I'm the founder of Soul Sutras, which is a network for South Asian women. Part of what Soul Sutras does is Masala Monologues, which is spicy stories from South Asian women. And it's the first time that I brought it to the US at the University of Berkeley. And I can't wait to see what comes of this, because I have a feeling that good things are going to come of this. Hello and welcome to Masala Monologues. This is an amazing opportunity for all of us to connect with each other. I think as South Asian women, we don't get the space to actually sit somewhere, talk about our experiences, open up to each other, connect with each other. So if you could take a minute to just kind of ground yourself, close your eyes, focus on your breathing. Take a breath in through your nostrils, feel it going through your chest and your stomach. Another breath, loud in, and a loud exhale. You're letting every bloody thing out. And when you're ready, move your body a little bit, shake it about. Loosen up. And look at yourself, look at everybody else and see how silly we are. We've got the good bits of the culture, we've got the samosas, right? And you know, all of that. But also part of that is conditioning that we carry. When you're a woman, you do this or you don't do that. And this is a great opportunity to kind of open up, talk to each other. Yeah.
I'm a senior at UC Berkeley, and I work in our student government, and so I had reached out to Sangeeta, I think almost a year ago or a couple months ago now. I really wanted to just do a project at Berkeley about talking about sexual health and sexual taboos in the South Asian community, and I swear to God I couldn't find anything anywhere about anyone doing this. And I did a quick YouTube search, and I think your video was the only thing that popped up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this woman does this for a living in London.
Talks about sex.
Exactly, and I found the podcast, I found your Instagram, I followed you on every platform, and I think I had one of my interns like email you.
Yes,
and
you did.
I think within like a week we were connected, and that was amazing to me.
Either say what it is, or take a minute to go through your own life and pick something that really resonates with you. Now, the point of us meeting here today in a closed space where we kind of, it's just us and sitting and talking to each other, is really kind of try and get in there and see what creates a response. Like, things that happen create responses in our bodies and our minds, and you know instinctively what that is. So you don't, like, it doesn't need to be intellectual, it should be emotional.
A few years ago when I moved into my apartment, my mom wanted me to have some things to cook with, and she always uses turmeric and everything. So she gave me this, and I've been using that since then.
Specific random things related to jewelry that, as much as I feel like jewelry is such an important part of being South Asian and a part of my identity as an Indian woman, there's some strange parts of it too that I didn't understand came with a certain idea of class. Her idea of me having fun in India was taking me to gold shops. And I was like, can you just take me to the street stores, because those are more fun for me. Yeah, it's super random and an interesting thing, this break that I kind of realized.
I have always wanted a space to be with South Asian women to talk about issues like this. These things that hurt me, or these issues that we don't talk about enough. It makes me want to bring them up more. Having a space that is nuanced in the fact that it's us as women, but also us as South Asian women, creates a really important space for intersectional dialogue, I think. Yeah, tapping into just the range of issues and experiences that make us who we are.
That was the day I discovered my father wasn't really my father. For example, you're what happened there? I want to read. Do you know what I mean? It's just intrigue. So if we want to start by just writing a beginning, pick the taboo that you've got and write me one sentence of the story that you want to write today.
I brought up was domestic violence. And that's not something I've ever opened up about. You know, it's not, like, other than with my therapist, it's not something I tell other people about. And I was really nervous to write my monologue. I was scared. And I think having that space to open up about it, like, made a difference to me.
I am a big journaler in the first place, so I think writing and journaling has been very therapeutic for me throughout my life anyways, and I think even though when I journal it's just kind of like my thoughts, to put down a story and to put more use, I'd say, like sensory details to that. I thought that was really fantastic to really put myself back in that situation as well, which was interesting.
Whether that's in America or in India, like going back, you always have expectations, whether that's in the home or that's going back to like the country itself. There are certain things that parents, grandparents always expect from you and tell you to do or not to do, and sometimes I do have problems with that.
It's interesting because like we were all strangers, but then we weren't, because we had so many common experiences. And you know, like just being in a room and you say something and then you see everyone nod around you, that in itself is such an affirmation.
It felt like a relief. Like I could like breathe a little easier after talking about it. I saw like people looking at me, or just like the faces, and they were all kind and like the little and yeah, and it felt very warm and comforting.
What was incredible for me as an experience with the 2 workshops that we did was how open and how vulnerable and how trusting all the girls were.
Yeah.
And how easy it was for them to put down quite painful and difficult things on a page. And,
I mean, we got into everything from
absolutely,
like sexuality to periods. We were talking about domestic violence, mental health.
Yes.
We got into a lot, and I think for me it was so important. Like, I think we could have done this like at Berkeley, just got in a circle, got some food, and had the conversations, brought up the stigmas. But it was like so important for me to have you there. One, because I think we never really hear those topics of conversation brought up by women that are not just like of our age group, like older women. Like we never hear older women tell us it's okay to talk about these things, and it was so nice to have you in that room, give us some kind of guidance.
It's all about tackling taboos in our culture. There are a lot of taboos in our culture. There's sex and sexuality and periods and menopause and body hair and shame. We've had 2 amazing workshops where we've sat together, we've kind of opened up to each other, been really vulnerable, and written stories of experiences as monologues. And it's been one of the sort of best experiences in running Soul Sutras for me, because I get to see what the South Asian experience looks like from the American point of view. I got to meet these incredible young women who opened up to me, and it was absolutely brilliant.
I'd say it was empowering,
honest, safe,
explorative,
Endearing, delicious, and deliciously.